Greetings. In our program today, you're going to learn some strategies that will show you how to navigate and actually prosper from the new rulings that have come out of a court case in Missouri, referred to as the Sitzer verdict, that's going to be transforming the way that real estate brokerage is done. So if you're thinking of buying a home, selling a home, or if you are in the business of real estate brokerage, you want to stick around because you're going to learn some key strategies that's going to teach you how to stay on top of your game and to prosper from all of these things that are going on. I'll see ya. Greetings and welcome to another edition of Business in Motion, a program that focuses on business and entrepreneurship from an Afro-centered perspective, right here on WMEG Radio, Baltimore, Maryland, the #1 station in the nation with the dissemination of valuable information with no hesitation or reservation, but only an obligation and a dedication to the elevation of your present situation. I am your host, RGL Biz Coach, and today we're going to be discussing the Sitzer ruling, and this happens to be a court case that was in the state of Missouri that's going to be setting a totally new precedent regarding the way that real estate brokerage charges commissions. And doesn't matter if you're interested in buying a home or you're going to be selling your home, or if you happen to be in the business of real estate, you want to stay with us throughout this program because you're going to learn some key strategies that's going to show you how to capitalize on this new ruling and walk away the winner of the game. So stick with us. I know you're going to love this program. A program from an Afro-centered perspective right here on WMEG Radio, Baltimore, Maryland. The #1 station in the nation with the dissemination of valuable information with no hesitation or reservation, but an obligation and dedication to the elevation of your present situation. I'm your host, RGL Biz Coach, and just welcome being here today. It's going to be a good show, I must say. You know, I'm telling you, second part, you gotta stick around. Anybody out there, I'm telling you, you should reach out to your friends, family, whomever, because we're gonna have part 2 of Mr. Eric Garvan. He was a gentleman who was on a little bit earlier in the month, or was it last month? But anyway, it wasn't that long ago. But he's gonna be back in the second half in the spotlight, and he's gonna be talking about financials and just a whole lot of things that's gonna be of the utmost interest to you, so definitely stick around. But prior to that, you know, there was a ruling. It's called the Sitzer ruling, and this is going to be changing the whole real estate dynamic, the way that real estate brokerage has been done for 50, 60, 70 years in America. It is all getting ready to change. As a matter of fact, it's already started the changes. So today, again, you're going to know how to capitalize on these changes as a result of the Sitzer ruling. And I'm telling you, it's going to be some big changes. I know a lot of you people out there who are in the real estate business, your brokers, your agents, you're probably shivering in your boots right now, wondering what's going to go down. Do you have to worry? Are you going to end up in the courtroom based on transactions that you've engaged in with your clients in the past? We're going to talk about a little bit of all of that and give you some insights on how to go, and that's going to be in the second section. That's going to be in perspectives coming up after the 3:30 drop. We're going to be getting into that, so you definitely want to stick around for that. But I'll tell you what, by the end of today's show, you are going to know all about this new court ruling, how it has totally changed the entire real estate business, real estate brokerage here in America, as I mentioned. But even better than that, if you happen to be in the business, or, you know, at some point, more than likely, you're going to be a buyer of a home or you're going to be the seller of a home, you're going to have a blueprint on how to proceed and how to move forward with confidence, knowing that, you know, you're making the right decision with whatever it is you might be doing. And I'm telling you, you're going to be feeling like you're ahead of the game by the end of this program. Again, that's what we got going on here today. What are we talking? November 28, 2023, WMEG Radio, Baltimore, Maryland. That's what's going down on the Business in Motion show. And with that being stated, I got to holler out to my good brother over here, DJ Rock Nice.
What's happening, Ronnie? What's happening?
Oh, it's all good, my brother. It is all so good. Happy to be back. Happy to be back with you.
Very much so, man. Very much
man.
so.
You know, past couple of weeks couldn't be here. You know, we had a little technical issues, but we've got some very intelligent people who work with us, the engineering department and all of that.
And prayers.
Yeah, we set up some good. See, I taught y'all how to pray, how to send those requests into the spiritual realm. So anyway, you know, we had used all of that, but it worked. We're back here today, and we're going to be moving on with business the way that business should be moved on. And also, I brought my significant other who's in the house today.
Made my day.
How are you doing, significant other?
This mic right here?
Yes.
I'm good and happy to be here.
Very good, very good. So I tell you, it's going to be a treat. So I'll actually allow you. You can chime in. You understand what I'm saying? I'll allow you that. You can chime in if you want to. Or no, but I'll tell you what, when I raise my hand like that, then that's when you can do it. But anyway, let's keep on moving, because I tell you, you know, these times I get in here and it seems like it's a long time, 2 hours, but it goes by so quickly. And, you know, a lot of times just can't get everything. I can't state everything and get it out to you. So let's go ahead and get moving here. And I'm, you know, our weather's definitely shifted. We are approaching winter as of today.
Approaching?
Well, it still is. It's fall. We are like we're kind of at the end of the middle of fall. But headed to, no. We're in the beginning of the third trimester of fall. That's where we are right now, because I got to keep in mind on December 20th, 21st is when it changes officially into winter. But we're experiencing a little bit of winter weather, you know, out there today. But it ain't too bad as long as that sun is shining. I can kind of cope with it. But when there's no sunshine, or when the wind is blowing out, that wind was blowing a little bit out there. But that's when it gets a little bit harder for me to cope with situations, because as y'all know, I'm a warm weather person. You know what I'm saying? I like it down in Brazil. I like that type weather. You know what's going on there. And probably will have to make a trip there to the Caribbean or somewhere before it's too long. Yeah, man, if you got your money right, everything is tight.
You ain't say that part, Ronnie.
Yeah, okay. Well, anybody wants to go, you got to have your own money. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, and I know Christmas is coming, but I am not Santa Claus.
Ronnie, can I say something before we jump into the show?
Go ahead.
So often, man, people always say, give me my flowers while I still can smell them.
Yeah.
So often we don't. I really want to take a second, and I really want to give you your flowers. Because most people don't recognize the difference that we make in our lives. And,
right.
Upon meeting you, I was taught some lessons, and I'm really grateful for that.
Oh, great.
You have I don't want to call it a father-son relationship, because it's not a father-son relationship. It's more like a big brother, little brother.
Right.
You let me get my hand spanked, but you also say, I got your back. You know, it ain't going to happen again. And I just want to thank you for that, man, because it's greatly appreciated.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I am very, very happy to hear that. Yes. And like I say, you know, it's been good. You know, I've really enjoyed being here, you know, with the program, doing this, you know, connecting with you and new people and everything. You know, this Baltimorean, you know, when I was very young, I lived in Baltimore, but I don't really remember it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I was really young. After I was born in North Carolina, and then the family moved over here, they were kind of waiting, from my understanding, for me to be born before they came. And but they left before I don't really remember it. I'll put it like that. But, you know, I'm back here now. That's all I can say. I'm here in Baltimore. And then mentioning that, you know, today, if I wasn't here, I would be in a summit. It's called the Prosperity Summit, that is being put on by Mark Victor Hansen and a crew of other people. And, you know, if you do know, Mark Victor Hansen, he is the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. He put together that book, he and another one of his friends, and they sold millions and millions of copies. And Today, I think Mark has published more books than anyone in America. And anyway, I was invited to the summit. I was checking it out a little bit before I got ready to come up here. And the thing that really grasped my attention, see, I knew it was something cool about Mark. You know, I've been on in a Zoom conference with him, a one-on-one and everything, because he was talking to me, was wanting to do something with my book or maybe a new book that I might write and how he could assist. And he said that he could make sure that it would be in the top on Amazon's top sellers list. But I ain't ready for that one right now. I tell you, I am working on some things, but not ready for him on that level yet. But what really caught my attention was he was speaking about Reverend Ike. Now, as you know, I've played Reverend Ike up here a number of times because I think Reverend Ike is so inspiring. As far as back as I can remember, he was the first true motivational speaker, and he happened to be a reverend. He was a preacher up in Harlem, New York. He was from South Carolina, but I think he relocated to New York City when he was in his late teens, maybe 18 or 19, out of high school, or maybe even out of college was when he went there. But anyway, I like Reverend Ike. I think that he was at the vanguard of something. You know, when he used to come on, because my family, we would listen to him, and at the end of his broadcast, my parents would always speak negatively about him. You know, they didn't have a lot of positive things to say about him because he was so different from what they were used to hearing from a pastor. Because he talked about positivity and using, your brain, just being positive and attracting good things to you. And that is so much me. Well, anyway, Mark Victor Hansen, he says that he used to listen to him when he was younger, and he inspired him. But also, he inspired another gentleman who I didn't get his name. I missed it. I was waiting around hoping I could have gotten it. But anyway, this other gentleman has published a brand new book called Ask. And he's speaking about the power of just asking and what you might be able to accomplish by just simply asking. And the thing where he was coming from Reverend Ike was you can ask on 3 different levels. First level is you ask yourself. The second level would be you ask friends, relatives. And the third one was you ask God for whatever it is that you might want to manifest in your life. But again, it was like a breath of fresh air, just hearing like, wow, now here's a gentleman here, Mark Victor Hansen, who's achieved the status of publishing more books than anybody else in America. And this other gentleman, I think he said from listening to Reverend Ike, the author of this book, Ask, has actually made a $150 million business from doing so. And so again, both of them, now Reverend Ike, if you don't know, Reverend Ike was an African American. Both of these gentlemen who I'm speaking of are not. They're white Americans. They're Caucasian Americans. And, for the longest, Reverend Ike was only talking mainly to the black population. And then what happened later, the word got out. And people heard him. And then he started filling up Madison Square Garden no longer with blacks. There would be blacks in there, but then there was mainly whites going. But it just makes me feel good to see that these people were inspired by him. And one of the reasons I say it is because I listen to so many other blacks who still continue to condemn Reverend Ike and says that, he's just out pimping the people and getting the money. No, not. I mean, here's proof right now. These two people are testament to the value of Reverend Ike's message, because it totally transformed their lives, and, they want to be at the top of their game. All right. I just want to put that out there, and I want to keep going here. Now, let's talk about some sports, okay, for a little bit. Baltimore Ravens. Oh, they're red hot. Baltimore Ravens are hot. They're at the top in the AFC. All right. There you go. And also, you got to do it for my boys on the West Coast. San Fran is back too. There you go. The 49ers. And I'm already predicting that it's going to be a repeat from the old Super Bowl, Baltimore Ravens and San Francisco.
Which we won.
Yeah, you won. Yeah, absolutely. This time around, I'll ask you, I'm going to be going for the Ravens. Okay? Last time
Say it with your chest, Ronnie. Say it with your chest.
Well, I beat my chest. Okay, but no, this time I would. If that occurs, I will be rooting for the Ravens this time. And it would probably be the first time I've ever went against the 49ers unless they were playing the Raiders.
Are you still a Raiders fan?
I'm still a Raiders fan. But see, as far back as I can remember, when I first got into football, it was the Raiders. That was my team. And then later, I ended up migrating out to the Bay Area. And then they really got into my blood. But when I was there in the Bay Area, then San Francisco put the team together with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice wasn't on their first '81 Super Bowl team, but It was Dwight Clark. You know what I'm saying? And then they just built that super team, which I say today is still one of the best football teams that was ever assembled. Just awesome. And you got Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, and they're both, I think, in the top 5 of all time best football players ever. To have them both on the same team. You know what I'm saying? Team was awesome. It was awesome.
Well, the only thing good about the Raiders now is the fact they're in Las Vegas. I can find something to do after they lose.
Yeah. Well, hey, it was plenty to do in Oakland and in the Bay. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? But I know what that was all about. They could never get along. Like West Coast, especially the Bay Area is ultra liberal. It's very liberal. And like the politicians there, it's like, we ain't giving you all this money to put and build this huge stadium and our people need this. That's the mind frame or the mindset that they have. And so they could never, and not only have the Raiders left, but now the Oakland A's. They're going to Las Vegas. Yeah, and their stadium will be right beside, just like it was in Oakland.
Yeah.
They'll be right beside each other. Yeah, but anyway, it is what it is. So, what else we got right here? Basketball. We got a whole brand new phenom basketball player. We got Victor Wembanyama. I'm thinking I'm saying it right. Wembanyama. This is a 7'2", 7'4" Amazon who's out there. He's actually from France. And I tell you, boy, got game. He's got some really good game. I've seen him play now. Now, he ain't big as a string. You know what I'm saying? I think he's probably going to have to beef up just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Right now, San Antonio has got to figure out how to really work him because as tall as he is, he still can't play the center position. He just doesn't have enough weight. And so he's still got to play outside on the perimeter. He handles the ball better than anybody over 7 foot tall I've ever seen in my life. And he's got a smooth jumper. And like I said, as tall as he is dunking the ball is nothing. But anyway, he's out there. I'm curious to see how they end up. San Antonio, how he, over time, he's going to work out very well, provided he doesn't get hurt. But looking at the NBA, especially with these, it's pretty much as I would have anticipated. You got your Boston, you got Philadelphia. They're like kind of at the top. No, you got Orlando. I don't know where they come from. Orlando's up there too. And but then on the West, it's like teams that you just wouldn't think of. They're up there in the top. And those Lakers and the Warriors and everybody, they're like, wow, they got some work to do. Lakers are starting to come up. I think Golden State won the last game. But anyway, that's what's going on when the NBA is back, and I'm really going to be getting into it. I get into it much deeper after Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I kind of let this first part go by, and then after Super Bowl, I really like to get into it. But again, I told you I wanted to keep you all abreast of what's going on in West Africa. Is near and dear to my heart. Just seeing these countries and the way that they're telling France, you got to go. You got to go, buddy. And I'm telling you, one nation is at Mali. I think Mali right now is the fastest growing world economy. And this is after they kicked France out. And another thing, and it's just so sad being America and looking at the way that the relationship that Russia's having with those African nations, and it appears to be all positive. I mean, like Russia has sent over 200,000 tons of grain, and they're giving it away. They're giving it to 6 African nations. That's right. Okay, 200,000 tons of grain. And also, Russia has just went into an agreement where they're going to be building a nuclear power plant in Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso has lots of uranium, and this uranium used to be, France was getting it. And I know France, and I don't know what they were paying for in Burkina Faso, but I know in Niger, they were paying 80 cents per kilo, and the going rate was $200 per kilo. Now, look, you're talking about just ripping off and exploiting people, but that's what France was doing. And, what was happening? They would have these are buckethead leaders. They put them in there. They call it a democracy, but it's really not, simply because they're controlled. One of the problems with democracy and everything is, as long as you got media and money could be pumped into it, and you can sway and make sure that things go kind of the way that the money, how the money flows is where things will go. And those have been the leaders they've been getting. And what the leaders would do once they would be in office, they didn't really advocate for their own citizens. They would make sure that they were doing everything that those old colonial powers wanted. And as a result, there's been a number of coups. Those presidents that were supposedly democratically elected have been kicked out. New leadership is in. And obviously, that the West has been doing everything, sanctioned and doing all they can because they want those nations to be failed states. However, due to the new dynamic, and that dynamic being the relationship with Russia, the relationships with China, those are two superpowers also, and now even with Iran, that these nations, because the West, NATO, United States, who's pretty much the head of NATO, they sanction so many countries today. Until now, those countries are coming together and saying, oh, wait a minute, we can trade with each other and we can do business with each other and, just forget about NATO and the rest of them. And so that's kind of what they're doing. And like I'm saying, it's just sad, though, for me to be an American and I'm looking at the way that Russia is engaging with these nations and how these nations are developing. And then, just seeing the way that France, being kicked out, France not wanting to give up power, but they had to. And that's just the way that it is. Now, I got this excerpt that's I want you guys to hear, but this right here is kind of like a prelude to what I'm going to be talking about in the next 30 minutes after we take our break. But this right here is related to that Missouri jury that found the National Association of Realtors and these number of brokerages found them guilty, saying that they conspired to inflate commissions. This is very short. It's less than 3 minutes, but check it out. I just want to get you in the right frame of mind so that when I come back after the break, I can really get into some solutions and how you can go about navigating the new laws that are in existence or coming into existence. So check it out. I'll see you.
Missouri jury finds real estate brokerages guilty of conspiring to inflate commissions. www.usgovconnect.com by Patrick Mansfield. Hello, my name is Robo, your name Robo. The article is written as Patrick Mansfield, also known as Pat Stroke. Thanks much, Patrick. In a recent legal case, a Missouri jury has found several real estate and brokerages guilty of conspiring to inflate commissions. This verdict comes as a significant blow to the real estate industry in the state and raises concerns about ethical practices within the profession. The jury agreed that the defendants engaged in anti-competitive behavior, violating federal and state antitrust laws. This case highlights the importance of fair competition within the real estate market. It is crucial for consumers to have access to a transparent and competitive market that allows them to make informed decisions about buying or selling property. When individuals or organizations conspire to manipulate prices, it undermines the principles of a fair marketplace. The consequences of this verdict are likely to be far-reaching. The guilty parties could face substantial fines and penalties, while their reputation within the industry may be irreparably damaged. For home buyers and sellers, this verdict offers some reassurance that steps are being taken to ensure a fair and transparent real estate market. However, it also highlights the importance of due diligence and research when engaging the services of a realtor or brokerage. In response to this case, it is likely that regulatory bodies and professional organizations will reassess the guidelines and codes of conduct. Stricter regulations and increased oversight may be implemented to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. As consumers, we must remain vigilant and hold real estate professionals accountable for their actions. By staying informed and actively participating in the process, we can help ensure that the real estate industry operates in a fair and transparent manner. In conclusion, the guilty verdict in the Missouri case against real estate and brokerages for conspiring to inflate commissions reflects a significant development in the real estate industry. It serves as a reminder of the importance of fair competition and ethical practices. Moving forward, it is essential for the industry to address these issues, restore consumer trust, and uphold the principles of a competitive marketplace. Thanks for www.usgovconnect.com. Go to www.usgovconnect.com to US GovConnect at Finance.